Hey guys, welcome back. Today's video is going to be a live swatch video of the new shades of the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I classified the Butter Bronzer as my favorite drugstore bronzer in the year of 2017. I love the formula, I love the smell of it, and I love the undertone. So I think that it was really great for Physicians Formula to expand their line for darker skin tones because the first two shades that they came out with were relatively light. In this video, I will be swatching one shade on either side of my face and then tell you guys my thoughts. Once that is over, I will reapply my foundation so we can start over new with the two deeper shades. I will also show you guys swatches side by side on my arm to show you the comparisons of each and every shade. That way, hopefully this video can help you in deciding which shade is best for you. If you are new to my channel, then welcome. I hope you're here to stay. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that bell button down below. That way you are notified every single time I upload a video. If you guys are interested in seeing how these shades compare to each other, then just keep watching. Okay, so right now I don't have any bronzer on my skin. I only have foundation and highlighter on. I don't have any blush. So I am going to be using my regular bronzing brush that I typically like to use. This is the e.l.f. blush brush or complexion brush, I believe, but this is always what I use to apply my bronzer, so this is what I'm going to be using today. I will wipe it off between each shade. I'm going to be going into the light bronzer shade, apply it on this side of my face. So just with that initial application, I can tell that it gives a little bit of shadow to my face. I would expect that this light bronzer wouldn't necessarily show up much on my skin, but I can tell that it does give a very subtle shadow to this side of my face, giving me a little bit more structure than, say, this side. I'm going to see if I can build it up just a little bit more to see if it will deepen. So this is the light bronzer. So I'm going to wipe off my brush and then we are going to go into bronzer, which is supposed to be the second lightest shade. So I've used bronzer in the past couple of my tutorials. I do love the shade. I think that it is beautiful, but I've never compared it side by side next to light bronzer. So I'm very curious to see how different it is. So that's just with one initial application. So I'm going to treat both bronzers fairly, and I will go over a second time just to see if I can build it up on this side of my face, even if it makes me look like a crazy person. So in terms of depth, I really don't think these two bronzers really differ from each other that much. However, the undertone I do think is different. So on this side, I personally think that the light bronzer has more of a terracotta undertone almost, whereas this side, the bronzer shade, really does have a true neutral brown color to it. So again, this side is light bronzer, and this side is bronzer. So what I'm going to do now is take off my entire face makeup and then reapply so we have a clean slate for the next two shades. Alright, so we have a fresh face of foundation on. As you can see, I no longer have the bronzer on either side of my face. So I'm going to wipe off my bronzer brush and then I am going to go into the Sunkissed Bronzer, which is one of the newer shades. And I'm going to be applying it to this side of my face. So right off the bat, I feel like the Sunkissed Bronzer is the darker version of light bronzer because I feel like this one has that terracotta undertone as well. It does kind of have that pinkish, brownish type of color to it. Looking in the mirror, I do feel like it is indeed darker, but is this going to suit way darker skin tones? I don't really think so. And then finally we are going to go into the deepest shade, and this is Deep Bronzer, and we're going to be applying it on this side of my face. So this is just one application. I did not dip my brush into the product a second time. I do think that this is darker than the bronzer shade. I think that the Sunkissed Bronzer is the darker version of light bronzer, and I think that Deep Bronzer is the darker version of bronzer because this one does have that same neutral brown undertone, but it is just a bit deeper. but I do think that the deep bronzer is definitely the best shade out of the two newer shades to try for those of you with deeper skin tones. So hopefully you guys can tell the difference between all of these. I personally find that light bronzer and Sunkissed Bronzer have more of a pinky brown undertone, more of like a terracotta shade, and then bronzer and deep bronzer are more of that neutral brown. So to summarize my thoughts, I think that every single shade has the same formula. They apply just as nicely as any of the other shades in this line. They don't skip, they blend very easily on the cheeks. I think that light bronzer and Sunkissed Bronzer both have terracotta undertones to them. They're not as neutral as bronzer and deep bronzer. I do think that Sunkissed Bronzer may not be dark enough for those of you with deeper skin tones. I think that deep bronzer is the best bet for those of you with deeper skin tones, but I still think that Physicians Formula could have gone a little bit darker. However, I am thankful that Physicians Formula did listen to their consumers and try to expand the range a little bit more. So hopefully they can once again take our feedback and maybe add a couple more shades that will be suitable for those of you with really deep skin tones. But other than that, this concludes this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it and hopefully you found it helpful. If you do decide to try out either two of the newer shades, let me know what you guys think down below and if you guys think that it now works for you. If you are new here, then don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you can be a part of this family here on my channel. I want to thank you guys so much for watching and I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys.